Good evening. Thank you so much for tuning in to Katie Merchant's Bedtime Tales. I'm Katie Merchant, and today I have a new tale for you called Dragonfly Eyes. Now, I did read this story to you once, and I had it almost edited, and then my file crashed, so I am recording it again, so please bear with me. But here we are. Dragonfly Eyes. 28,000 lenses. Can you imagine what it must be like to see like that? Nash asked his father, who was busy tightening bolts on an old car he had pledged to restore. No, do they do the cat thing? His dad asked him. Cat thing? Nash asked, nonplussed. You know, the ability to see different light spectrums. His father ended more on a question than a definitive statement. The light tapping of fingers across a phone screen mixed with the cranking noise of the wrench as the men worked together on very different projects. According to this science website, we have 3 channels of color, a cat only has 2 like a dog, and a dragonfly defeats us all. Humans have up to 9 opsins, dragonflies up to 30, and no fewer than 11, Nash said, scrolling through more facts. What's an opsin? His dad asked, cranking down on a bolt. Opsin. According to Merriam-Webster, opsin. Any of various colorless proteins that in combination with retinal or related prosthetic group form a visual pigment such as rhodopsin and a reaction reversible by light, Nash replied. He watched as the curly black mop of hair rolled out from beneath the green vehicle, brown eyes looking at him in awe. Did you understand most of that? His dad asked, wiping his nose with the back of his hand and subsequently layered a thick streak of oil across his face. Nash replied with a shrug. Me neither, his dad replied. Look up rotospin. He pointed the wrench as he made his demand and then disappeared back beneath the car. Rhodopsin. There's no spin, Nash replied. His father could hear the eye roll in his response and he smiled. Well, when this car is done, I want to take it on the road for a spin, the older man laughed at his bad dad joke, and the sigh that followed from the young teen carried the giggle on longer. Rhodopsin. A red photosensitive pigment in the retinal rods of the eye of most vertebrates that is most important in the vision of dim light, called also visual purple. Nash read the screen. Neat, his dad said. Dragonflies are presumed to be able to see in ultraviolet too. Nash copied links to the various sites, tucking them all into one email for himself later. Isn't that what cats see? His dad asked. Again, the clicking noise of fingers across the screen brought information to light instantaneously. There are a few articles that do support that, Nash smiled and peeked under the car. His dad had his arms at a funny angle and was twiddling the last bolt tight. Are you jealous of a cat's ability to see in ultraviolet? Yeah, maybe, his father replied. Why were we left out of that superpower? He used his back legs to push himself out from under the car. Nash put a hand down and the larger man grabbed it, standing tall as he straightened his neck. He was still a good foot taller than his son, but he knew that would soon change. The baby fat was gone from Nash's cheeks, and he had a thickness about him that screamed he was about to grow. Thumbs, Nash said, before opening the garage door to head inside the house. Thumbs what? His dad asked, forgetting that he had asked the question, getting lost in the thought of time. I bet that's why we can't see more. We can hold things. Nash wiggled his thumbs at his dad before disappearing completely into the house. His dad lifted a thumb and looked at the intricate loop pattern on his skin. Are you why I can't see ghosts? He asked the digit before following his son inside. Do you think dragonflies can see ghosts? What kind of question is that? Nash asked, opening a soda and leaning on their kitchen counter. I guess it depends on the answer you give me, his dad replied, biting playfully on his lip while considering how much he and his son had really discussed the topic of ghosts, and where his ideals may actually lie. He began to wash the oil and dirt from his fingers. I guess the internet's logic is that cats can see ghosts because of how they interpret light data. So why wouldn't that extend to dragonflies? If one were to believe in ghosts, that is. Nash squinted as he playfully scrutinized his dad. But you told me monsters didn't live in my closet. Monsters, no. Never saw any of those. Never said anything about ghosts, though. His dad laughed nervously in reply, wiping his hands on a crisp, clean towel. He clapped his son on the back and disappeared into the fridge. What's that mean? His son asked. Something caught just behind his ever more protruding Adam's apple. His dad's large brown eyes looked at him from over the fridge door. What's that mean, Dad? Nash asked a little more urgently. His father's eyebrows raised dramatically, and boo! His mother jumped out from behind a wall and succeeded in pulling a loud scream from their son as he ran from the room. The two adults gazed at each other in shared admiration and burst out laughing. Thanks so much for tuning into tonight's tale. If you liked what you heard, please take the time to like, subscribe, or whatever it is that you do to share what you love. Good night. Sleep tight.